Hey guys, this is Hetu and welcome back to ETL Labs. So guys, in the previous video we have looked at how to find the highest salary in three different ways, right? So uh, those are three different ways. Basically, how do we find out? So you should be actually knowing the different ways to solve a particular problem, right? So that we have covered in the last session, but that is kind of a bit of basic, right? I mean, if you go for the interviews, I think probably if you're going to service-based companies and all, then they might ask you, right? Those kind of questions. But if you are going a bit of, I mean, tier two company, tier one company, then definitely they will be asking something what I'm going to discuss you, right? So that's a bit that have got a bit of more understanding. So let's try to see that what is that questions, right? So as I explained you in the previous video, what exactly we want to do in the second session is actually we want to find out the, let's say, maximum salary per department, right? Per department. So this is the questions basically question, right? In the previous video, we have looked at maximum salary across the table, right? It is not per department, etc., right? So DPT number, okay, fine. So this is the difference here, right? So we will see that. I will show you the example also, what exactly we want to find out in the raw table, and then we will try to code it, right? So this is the maximum salary at the highest salary. Second one is we will find the second highest salary, guys, right? Second highest salary uh, per department, right? Per department. So these are the two things that we are going to understand in this video. And I seriously hope that you have watched the previous video and your concepts are clear, right? If not, guys, I will not suggest you, if you're not understanding what I'm talking about, what I talked in the previous video, and you're not very familiar with, group by and group by clause and the aggregate functions, etc., I would still suggest you to go and watch, then watch this video. Otherwise, it will not make too much of a sense to you, right? So yes, that's all. And let's try to straight away go to terminal or the prompt, SQL prompt. And here we will see, guys. Okay. So I already have one table, that's EMP table. So guys, this is the table. Okay. Let me um, let me display the data in better format. Okay. So I want to do it display order by department number and salary. Okay, so I want to actually order the data based on, okay, so let me second a bit of more data, guys, right? So so you see here actually I have ordered this particular table based on department number first thing, and then after that based on department I have ordered based on salary. So for example, 1, 2, 3 for 10, and then salary is in ascending order. So simply this is ascending order. First department is ascending, and then so this is how you actually see. Another thing is how do you use the order by, guys, right? So you can actually put as many as columns you want here, right? And by default, this is descending order, right? Sorry, by default, this is ascending order as I mentioned, right? In one of the very basic video that I has covered about order by and all, right? So ascending order, which means that the numbers will be in ascending order, means the lowest number will come first and then highest will come. So that's how it is, right? So department number, if you say, is starting from 10 and ending with 40. Now what is happening here is like it is ascending order based on department number. This is already done. Now what will happen if you already have within that department number you have, let's say, multiple salary, because we are also ordering based on salary. So salary should also be in ascending order, guys. Now see, 1000, 3000, 4000. Similarly here 2000 and 4000 for 20 and 5000 for this, right? Similarly for 40, department number 40, this is also ordered, guys. See, 300, 3000 and 5600. So this is how actually you can use the order by. So this is not the agenda of this video, but yeah, I just wanted to cover it so that you get your concepts also brushed up, right? Okay, so chalo, let's do one thing. What I want to do here is I want to find out here in this table, right? So I want to find out the department number, and then I want the corresponding maximum salary in each of this department, right? So for example, for this department number 10, what is the maximum salary, guys? Can you tell me? Yes, right. So this is the 4,000, right? Similarly, for department number 20, what is the maximum salary? This is the one. See, I already ordered, that's why it is displaying. Otherwise, if you display from the table, all this data will be somewhere here, right? I mean, somewhere not in this order. So since I have ordered, that's why it's very easy for you to check it, right? Now for 30, so you go to this one. So this is 3,400. No, for 30, this is the last one, guys, 5,600. And for 40, 5,600. This is the one, right? So let's try to see how do we find the maximum salary per department, right? This is the question actually. So we have to write uh, group by here. Why? Because actually we are actually finding out based on a department number, right? In previous video, we have not used, we were actually trying to find out the highest salary from the entire table. So we were actually trying to do something like that. Select max sal from EMP, right? This is what we did actually, and we got 5,600. And then if I wanted to find the second highest, then it was 5,400, something like that. So I used actually like that, right? But there we have not used the group by function. Now we have to use the group by function here. That is mandatory, because that is how you are actually grouping the data, and based on the department number, and trying to find out based on this particular group which one is the second highest salary or first highest salary. I mean the top salary, right? Based on each department. So this is very obvious question. So for example, I'll tell you why this kind of questions they will be asking, right? So they want to check whether you are able to apply this aggregate functions, and you are able to, you understand basically what is group by clause in SQL or not, right? That's the reason. And let's say this is in practical scenario, if you think about it, right? So let's say uh, this kind of query is very very helpful, especially, right? So let's say if somebody want to, so there is a HR management, right? So an HR want to find out in each of the department, in each of the department, right? Who are the highest paid, right? Employee, right? In each of the department. Let's say we have 50, 60 department, and each of the department, let's say so many employees are there, right? And it is very difficult to manually look at all those things, right? How do you find out the highest salary? It's very very difficult, right? So that's the reason this query will be very handy actually. So they can ask the IT to run this query from the database, and then they want the report actually. So this is the, I'm just giving you example. I mean, this is the way actually, these are very useful analytical functions, right? And are the aggregate functions. Now, that's all. Let's try to attempt this question now. Okay. So what I have to do is I have to actually group by based on department number, and then I have to find the maximum salary for each of the departments. So guys, we have to write something like this: select, and I have to write this column department number. I'll explain you, don't worry, and then comma maximum salary. So these are the two columns I want. I want department number and then maximum salary for that particular department number, right? This is what I want in my output, and whatever I want in my output I have to write in select section, right? So this is clear. Now select this from EMP. So this is uh, employee, right? Now let's try to run this. So what do you think, guys, whether this will run or not, right? Will it run? Let's try. This is giving you something error. So it is saying not a single group function, right? Since we are actually using this aggregate function, that's why it's saying this is not a single value, right? That's why we have to use the group by function. So this is the error, I think. Sometime interviewer might ask, what if we are using the aggregate function, and uh, aggregate function in this kind of scenario, and what kind of error? So this is the error actually, right? Or 00937, something like this, right? So let's try to go there now. And then guys, this is the syntax as I told you in the previous video. I mean long back actually, when I was covering the SQL. I think you should go and brush up if you're not aware. Now I have to use the group by, guys, here. Group by. So based on what, guys? I want to group based on department number, right? That's all, guys. It's all done now. Okay. So if I hit it, I don't want any other things. I want department number and then maximum salary in each of the department. No, this is the correct syntax. Let me run it. Okay. Now, see, guys. Okay. Let me display. One second, guys. I want to just display also. All right. Now, if I show you for 10, department number 10, what is the maximum salary? It's 4,000. Is it really? Let's see. Yes, right? This is 4,000. And for 20, what is that? 5,000. So this is correct. Similarly, for 30, 5,600 and 40, 5,600. So this is how actually you can get each of the department number and what is the maximum salary. Similarly, if you want, guys, what is the, okay, one second. All right. So if, okay, I think I need to use just group by. Okay, group by DPT number. Okay. If I want the minimum salary, guys, how do we do that? The minimum salary, I have to use min function, and this is what I can get. I can also use the average salary for each of the department. So if you want to find out who all are the employees who are actually getting more than average salary, then we can actually probably find out first average salary, then you can find out the employees who are actually getting more than average, etc. Something like that, guys, right? So this is very helpful because group by function, and this is how actually you can find out the maximum or minimum salary by each of the department, right? So this question is already covered, guys. Okay, now we are able to cover it successfully. Now the tricky question is, how do we find the second highest salary? So you understand what do I mean by, so let's say second highest salary. Here in this case, what is the second highest? For department number 10, it is 3,000, right? For department number 40, what is that? This is 4,000, right? And for 30, what is that highest one? 5,400. Similarly, for 40, what is that highest? 3,000. I mean, second highest 3,000, right? So it is a bit tricky, guys. Okay, why it is tricky? Because it you have to actually find out the highest, second highest, and you also have to compare. That it should be like this, guys. Okay, so actually you have to find out first what should we approach, right? So approach is we have to find highest salary, right? Highest salary per department, right? Per department. So for each of the department we have to actually find out highest first, right? And then we have to find the highest again. Okay, find highest salary per department. And what is that highest? This should be highest, but this should be lesser than that highest salary. So this should be actually part of inner query, and this should give me return. This should return me highest salary, and this outer query will have actually highest salary, but this should be just less than this particular salary, which means this is still highest. But so the way we have actually covered yesterday, right? The query, right? So let me try to show you what we have covered actually. So we want to find out. So here per department, find the highest salary, and the second highest salary will be just that, just whatever is the maximum, but it should be just less than this, which means second highest, right? So this is how we have actually tried to cover yesterday, right? Let me try to share it, guys. Okay. First, let me try to show you. Okay. I want to find out, let's say, the second highest salary. So what I did actually yesterday, I'm not actually finding out second highest salary based on each of the department, but I'm just trying to find out what is the maximum salary. Okay, first, second highest salary in the entire table, right? So let's say this will give you maximum salary. Now, if I want to find out the second highest, I can just do one thing, right? I can actually get this output, and I want to fetch everything from this particular and which salary should be less than this maximum salary. That's it, right? So select max salary from EMP where salary should be just less than this, isn't it? So this will give you 5,600. So this salary should still be max. Outer query will give you max salary, but that will give you maximum, but it should be just less than highest salary. So it should ideally give you 5,400 because this is the only value which is lesser than 5,600, right? Okay, let's try to run it, whether we are able to get it or not. Okay, so here we go. One second, guys. What we are doing? All right, 5,400. So we are able to do it. Similar way, guys, we have to find out the second highest salary for each of the department, right? So this is a bit tricky now because this will involve some bit of correlated query because it is we have to find out based on each of the department, right? And that's where group by and then correlated query. I think I have covered already correlated query. Uh, that we have to actually involve, right? As well as correlated query as well as self join, right? Both are applicable here. Okay, I'll show you how it is. Okay, so first let's try to find out. Okay, I already have written right here. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's try to find out the first highest salary. Okay, highest salary for each of the department. Okay, department number, maximum salary from EMP. One second, guys. One second. So, all right, group by, you just return this query, right? So now let's find. This is the highest salary for each of the department, right? This is how we are getting, right? Now we have to find the highest, second highest salary. So this should be basically, one second, should be, okay guys, let me think about it. How do we do it? So, okay. Okay, so let's do one thing, okay? I want to find the maximum salary first, okay? Maximum salary, it should actually come from the inner query, okay? And let me see if I can. Okay, okay, maximum salary from EMP where salary should be less than, okay? Select max salary from, okay, max salary and okay, I just want, okay, from EMP where, okay guys, I have to use this query, okay, I have to this table two times, okay, so I'm just aliasing with E1, okay, and then I will say this one as E2. They are the two instances of the same table, right? Because I am using two times, right? So just to distinguish, I think you can write here like E1 because this column is coming from this. Here also you can use it, otherwise it will by default understand this is from outer query only, okay? But you can try to use it something like this. It will give you better readability, right? Something like this, guys, okay? Now select max salary, okay? You can also use, I think if you not use then also, but sometime you have to give it when you perform the join and all these things, right? Okay, so here guys, okay? Now I have to say E1 dot department number equal to E2 dot department number. So this is what the condition you have to write, okay? So what exactly, I'll explain you what exactly it will give you, okay? Now let's say, so this is the inner query, right? Okay, one second guys, okay? This is inner query, but actually this is inner query, this is done, all right? But what I want is, I have used here department number and maximum salary also, right? So I have to group by, right? So group by E1 dot what? DEPT number. Okay. Let's try to run it and see whether we got it right. Now if I run it, probably like this, not like this, guys. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, something like this. Okay, let me just try to order by department number, department number, and salary. Just want to see it, right? Whether we are getting correct or not. So for 10, what is the second highest? It is 3000. So we are getting. For 20, we are getting 4000. Is it 4000? Yes, this is 4000. For 30, it should be okay. It should be 5400. Okay, is it coming? And for 40, 3000. So we are right here. See, the second highest. First highest is 4600. So we are actually able to get it. But exactly, guys, what we did, if you look at here, we are actually using this join. So this is correlated query. So for every outer query, for every inner query execution, right? It is actually taking the reference from outer query. So this is outer query. Normally what happens in subquery, normal inner query, the inner query or the subquery will get executed first, and then output of this subquery will be redirected to will be acting as an input for the outer query, right? But in case of correlated query, why it is correlated? Because actually this query is not independent. Why? Inner query is not independent because we are actually referencing E1 instance, which means we are actually E1 is what? This is the outer query, right? Outer table is the inner outer table, right? And we are actually referencing here. We are actually calculating. We are checking whether the department number from each of inner and outer table, both are inner and outer query, are actually equal, right? And then we are evaluating. So what is happening here? It is actually trying when it is trying to execute this particular query. It is every time it is taking the reference from outer query with regards to what you say department number, right? And this is the reason it is called correlated query, right? Because this inner query is not independent. If it is independent, this is normal subquery. Okay, guys, you take it. Okay. So now hope you are able to understand. Now what is happening here? If you look at it, we want to find out maximum salary from the E2 table, which means nothing but employee table only, which will give actually maximum salary from here. Okay, but here is a condition. So which should actually check department number from both the tables should be same. So outer query will have let's say this is the replica, right? So this is E1 and similar replica will be there like E1 E2 here also, right? So if you look at it, it is actually trying to compare. It is taking the maximum salary, but what is that maximum salary? It is actually taking the maximum salary for department number 10. Okay, so for department number 10, it is actually trying to take the maximum salary. Okay, what is that? That is 4000. Okay, so this will give you maximum 4000 for 10. Okay, now when it comes to outer query, what will happen? And then this output will be passed back to here, and then here it is trying to see, it is actually trying to take the maximum salary, but that maximum salary should be less than 4000 because here we have used the less than operator, right? So this should be for 10, this should be this one because maximum will come as 4000, then lesser than that it will be this. So this will be displayed. Similarly for department number, other department. So for this department done. For 20 also it will do the similar things. For 20 department number it will find out and maximum, and less than maximum will be displayed. So here and in outer query we have used the group by actually. So what we are actually grouping is basically we are grouping based on the department number, right? So this is a bit of tricky questions, guys, and this once you understand this concept, I think it is very easy, and I will suggest you to practice not only this, more and more correlated query. I think in SQL queries, correlated query is considered as a bit tricky and a bit tough also, right? So if you have the better understanding of code-related subquery and you can solve the questions like this, and then actually you we can consider you that you have very good knowledge of SQL query writing, right? So that's all for this video, guys, and I think I wanted to cover this because this is The second level of question, I think most of the interviews, in if you are going for the good companies, they will ask you. Okay, not exactly these questions only, exactly. Sometimes same question only, but sometimes also they might ask you something in this line. So you have to think about it. How do you solve? So as you know, if you are doing more and more practice, then it will be possible for you to write the query seamlessly, right? So that's all for this video, and I hope that and with this, guys, I think I will I think I conclude that the query related to maximum, minimum, average, and all. I think you can just use those functions right here. I've just taken maximum in our case in this video and previous video as well, but it's very much valid with the other aggregate functions as well, right? So you can actually correlate, and you can do more and more practice. So as much as practice you do, it will come seamlessly, and you should be able to solve those kind of questions, right? And if you are able to solve those kind of questions, that will show interviewer that you are able to do it. And not only interviews, guys. I mean, when you go to the project, in the real projects, it will not be very simple, right? Sometime you might have to write this kind of correlated subquery, and that's where people will recognize your skill if you are able to solve this kind of questions, right? Are this kind of problems if you are able to solve, or while testing also, you have this highly dependent data between each other, you want to fetch some meaningful information for your testing purpose, then also it shows that you have very good understanding and you are valued in the team, right? So that's what. So, okay, guys, so I'll stop this video here. And yes, I think we are going good. And let me see, I have so many other comments. Okay, I will try to see. And on pandas also, I will see, guys, whether do we need any further videos, because I just wanted to cover few things about the testing in pandas, and more. I think you can practice a bit more on pandas. I think you can refer so many content is there on the internet. I think you can just find out if you want to do more on the pandas, but I think I have covered basic things in what kind of testing, what kind of test cases we have to write, etc. Okay, so you can actually use that in pandas. And we'll see if there is anything else is needed. Otherwise, I will think that what else I can cover. I think there are so many other things to cover, so many other topics to be covered. But we'll see what is the best beneficial. And meanwhile, I also appreciate if you guys can suggest me some area that's where you feel that you are actually getting more and more questions from the interview right now, if you want me to cover from the interview point of view, or if you want anything else to be covered, let's say in Linux or maybe shell scripting or anything about ETL, any kind of other tools, etc. If you want, I will see that what is feasible and I'll try to cover. Okay, so that's all, guys, and I'll see you soon with the next video. And until then, happy learning. God bless you. Bye.